Hello and welcome you all in the course of probability and statistics. Now I am your instructor Mr. Hardik Joshi. Now today we should start say one of the important concept in the probability and statistics, say namely spatial probability distributions. Now there are variety of spatial probability distribution is available, say namely say binomial distribution, say Poisson distribution, normal distribution, Gaussian distribution, and so on. So one by one we have to study each and every one. So precisely in this lecture we should learn about the binomial distribution. So let's start to learn about the binomial distribution. So basically we know that there are two types of random variable available. So first one is the discrete random variable and the second is continuous random variable. Now this distribution, that is binomial distribution, is correspond to the discrete random variable. That's why it is known as the discrete distribution. That is not for continuous data. Now binomial distribution is a resulting from an experiment, say is also known as Bernoulli process. Why is known as Bernoulli process? Because is named after the statistician whose name is Bernoulli, and this developed this whole procedure. That's why this distribution is known as Bernoulli distribution. So definitely when we have to understand the real life situation, then it is okay. But when we have to calculate the exact distribution, that is probability, at that time we have to use the mathematical formulation, and these are the mathematical formulation corresponding to the binomial distribution. So the left hand side term is equivalent, that is probability of x, that is probability of this discrete random variable x is equivalent to n factorial upon n minus x factorial into x factorial into p raised to x into q raised to n minus x. So in this mathematical formulation there are so many parameters used, that is unknown. The first one is n, second is x, p and q. Just we know that that thing is a capital P, which stand in left hand side. Capital P stand for the probability. Capital X is stand for the discrete random variable. But what can we say about the other parameter, that is n, small x, p and q? So let's see the parameter of the binomial distribution. So we know that when we have to talk about the discrete random variable, that is the size of the sample space, that is the cardinality of the sample space is finite. So we have to assume that x takes the value say 0, 1, 2 and so on up to say some particular finite n, where n is the number of trial. X represent the number of success among n trial. P represent the probability of success in any particularly one trial. Q represent the probability of failure in any one trial. So before dealing with this binomial distribution, now we have to highlight some of the say strategy in this binomial distribution. First of all, I would say about why these are known as say binomial distribution. Now we know that bi stand for 2. So this distribution is applicable if and only whatever experiment we have to perform, that experiment has say basically say two output. Exactly two output. It may be yes, it may be no. Yeah, say success, yeah failure. Yeah, we have to say that say precise random experiment when we have to toss a coin, and when we have to toss a coin we know that there are exactly two output, say namely head and tail. So whenever the random experiment has exactly two output, that is just like say head tail, yeah either we have to success, yeah fail, to perform or to evaluate the frequency, that is probability of that random experiment, we have to use this binomial distribution. where n is stand for the number of trial. Suppose particularly we have to talk about, say, when we have to toss a coin. So definitely the output is head as well as tail. But some random experiment we have to frequently repeat it. That's like, suppose we have to say that we have to say toss a coin say 10 times. So see carefully, we have to repeat some particular random experiment. That is, when we have to toss a coin first time, definitely either we have to get a head or tail. Same random experiment we have to repeat again second time, so definitely again we have to get something like, say, output, say it may be head, it may be tail. So repeatedly we have to perform the same experiment say 10 times. So precisely in the context of this, see here the small n, so number of trial, so in that particular random experiment, say small n is equal to 10. Now x, number of success among n trial. So it depends when we have to say that we are success. Suppose again we have to assume when we have to toss a coin. So definitely there are two output, it may be head, it may be tail. But we have to assume that when we have to get a head, I will a success. So my success, that is the resultant quantity of tossing of coin is head. So we have to measure, we have to perform, or we have to toss a coin say 10 times. But out of that 10 times, how many times I will success? That is how many times I will get a head. That is my requirement. So that stand for x. Now small p stand for the probability of success in each individual trial. That is, suppose precisely we have to talk about when we have to toss a coin the first time. So definitely we have to get a head or tail. Now either we have to get a head, that is I am a success. So probability of succeed in a one single trial is 1/2, because definitely there are say two output, it may be head, it may be tail. So probability of success in one single trial is 1/2. The same thing q, that is probability of failure in a one trial, yeah, not success. So definitely when we have to toss a coin and luck by chance we have to get a tail, that is we are not succeed, that is we are fail. So its probability is again 1/2, because our favorable outcomes, that is fail, that is we have to get a tail, and total output is 2. That's why we have to say that the value of q is also a 1/2. So more precisely we have to say that q is equivalent to 1 minus p, because we know that the probability of success plus probability of failure is always equivalent to probability of the sample space, and the probability of the sample space is always equal to 1. That's why we have to write down here, say q is equal to 1 minus p. So when we have to calculate the exact procedure, at that time definitely we have to require some of the say mathematical measurement, that is mathematical expectation. And we know that the main mathematical expectation is mean, standard deviation and variance. So let's see first of all mean. Now mean, the well-known name of the mean is average. Now more precisely in the context of this, probability is known as the expected value. What is the expectation? So the mean of, or the expected value of binomial random variable is denoted by say mu is equal to n into p. Now these are the mathematical formulation and is developed by the statistician binomial, and so we have to adherent this mathematical formulation to exactly calculate mean of any of the random experiment which has exactly two output. It may be either success, it may be failure. So mu, that is mean, is equal to n into p, where we have to see what is n, where n is the total number of trial, that is how many times you have to repeat the same random experiment, and p is nothing but is the number of success in each individual trial. So definitely we have to say that whenever you have to perform this binomial distribution, so always the value of p is equal to half, because we know that in binomial distribution there are always two output. It may be success, it may be fail. That's why we have to apply this binomial distribution. So always we have to say that the value of small p is equal to half. Now the standard deviation of binomial random variable. We know that the standard deviation is denoted by sigma. Now is equivalent to square root of n into p into q. Wherein just we have to discuss the total number of trial, p, that is number of success in one particular trial, whereas q, that is number of not succeed in one particular trial. More precisely we have to say that say q is equal to 1 minus p. So standard deviation is nothing but the positive square root of this quantity, that is n into p into q. So on the basis of this concept, let's see one example. Say random guessing, suppose we have to appear for any of the competitive examination, and that competitive examination contains 100 questions, and now is a multiplicative type exam. So each and every question has a 4 options, say namely A, B, C and D. So definitely out of this 4 options, one option is the right. That's why the probability of getting a success in one individual trial is 1 by 4, because only one option is right. That is, if we have to select precisely that option, and only then our answer is the right. So favorable outcome is 1, but the total outcome, that is there are 4 options. So denominator is 4. So the probability of getting a success in one individual trial, that is to attempt one option randomly, its probability is 1 by 4. Whereas the probability of not succeed, that is q, so is 3 by 4, because there are total 3 options and we know that only one option is right. It means 3 options are wrong. So our favorable outcome is 3, but denominator, that is the total outcome, and total outcome is 4. So the probability of getting a failure in one individual trial is 3 by 4. So now on the basis of this, we have to calculate the expected value, that is mean, and we know that mu is equal to n into p. So n, that is total number of trial. So we have to select one random option in particular question, but we know that the competitive exam contains 100 questions, so we have to repeat the same experiment 100 times. So n is equal to 100 and p, that is just we have to calculate, is 1 by 4. So we have to get the expected value, that is 100 into 1 by 4. So it leads 25. So the conclusion tells that on an average, if we have to randomly select any one of the option among these 100 questions, so the probability of getting a right answer is 25. But remember, again these are one of the assumptions. It may be plus or minus. So how we can calculate plus or minus? So we have to take a help of the standard deviation. We know that what is the interpretation of standard deviation. Standard deviation is nothing but it represents how much data is deviate from its mean. That is, in this case is 25. We know that standard deviation, that is square root of n into p into q. Now n is 100, p is 1 by 4, q is 3 by 4. So we have to plug in all this quantity and take a positive square root. So we have to get the standard deviation is approximately 4.33. So finally we have to conclude that whenever you have to appear for any of the competitive tests, and that test consists of say 100 questions, and if you have to do not know what is the right answer, that is you have to randomly select any one of the option, then the probability of getting a right answer, that is probability of getting a success, is taking in one of the range, that is 25 minus 4.33. These are the left boundary, and the right boundary is 25, 4.33. So we have to say that the lower range is approximately say 21 and upper range is 29 point something, so it may be 30. So we have to say that if you have to randomly appear any of the competitive exam, then the probability of you may be success, yeah, you have to got a marks, it's in the range between 21 to 30. So thank you all of you, and that's up to for today's lecture.